The Adventurer's Log 1.1021.20. Hi, I'm Bobby. I'm your host. And before we get into our topic of the day, we're going to go ahead and start with this day in tech history. So, the first story is Apple introduces the PowerBook in 1991 at the Computer Comdex Computer Expo in Las Vegas. It introduced the first line of PowerBook notebook computers. The 100, PowerBook 100, PowerBook 140, and 170. The first truly portable Macintosh. The PowerBook line redefined portable computing and set the bar for future laptop designs. For example, the PowerBooks were the very first laptop to have a trackball position in front of the keyboard. It's right there. Most existing PC laptops of the time ran DOS and were therefore keyboard oriented, requiring the use of external mice. And on to our second story. Edison perfects the light bulb. On October 21st, 1879, Thomas Edison perfects the first commercially practical incandescent light bulb using a filament of carbonized cotton thread. His first attempt at the design results in a bulb that lasts about 13.5 hours before running out. Burning out, sorry. He later extends the life of the bulb to 40 hours. Edison's successful design came only after he had tested over 6,000 different vegetable fibers during a span of over 18 months, running about 1,200 experiments and spending $40,000. Whew. I wouldn't want to spend that much just to figure something out like that. Anyways, so our topic of today is Ratchet and Clank. So I know I talked about this on my very first video, but it is one of my favorite video game series. I've played it since 2002, when the very first version of the game came out. It was called Ratchet and Clank. Then in 2003, there was Going Commando. Then 2004, Up Your Arsenal. Then 2005, Ratchet Deadlocked. Also, there was a mobile game called Going Mobile. Then in 2007, there was Size Matters, which was originally released for the PSP, but was also ported over to the PS2. Then, the very first PlayStation 3 game was Ratchet and Clank Future, Tools of Destruction. Then there was another PSP game called Secret Agent Clank. They also ported that over to the PS2, where I also played it. Then, back to the PlayStation 3, there was Ratchet and Clank Future, Quest for Booty in 2008. And then in 2009, there was yet again another game called Ratchet and Clank Future, A Crack in Time. Then, in 2011, there was Ratchet and Clank's All for One, which was more of a multiplayer game. It wasn't like their original games. I'll get into that. Then, in 2012, there were two games that were put out. One was the Ratchet and Clank Collection, which was the original first three games ported over to PlayStation 3. Then there was also Full Frontal Assault. It was another multiplayer type game, different from the original styles. Then, in 2013, there was Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. And then there was also a mobile game called Before the Nexus. Then, there was a little bit of a break. And in 2016, Ratchet and Clank. Basically a redo of the original game. There was also a movie that went along with it. Very good not necessarily reboot, but revisit to the franchise after several years of being away. And then, coming this year, will be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'll get into that in just a moment. So, Ratchet and Clank. If you've never played, that's fine. But it is a buddy game series. There's Ratchet, who is a Lombox. He looks... Here, I'll play this image for you so that you can see what is going on. There you go. So, that's Ratchet on the right, with Clank on his back. Clank is a little robot that he can, he's got a little propeller pack and he gets a jet pack at one point. But Ratchet and Clank, it's a buddy game series. And what you do through the game is you go solve whatever the issue of the galaxy is. And it to me, it's a unique look at buddy cop movies. Yes, it's a video game, and yes, it's aliens and more kid-like. And I remember the very first commercials for the very first game. You had just regular people with these giant devices, shooting them off into a random field or whatever, and it showed off the immense power of the games, or of the tools of the game, and it was really cool and really well done at the time. I recently restarted playing the games with my son. We went ahead and played the game that went with the movie from 2006, named Ratchet and Clank. Not 2006, 2016, named Ratchet and Clank, which was a revisit to the original franchise. He loved it, and it was very, very fun watching him play, and then asking questions and having issues, and I'd help him and give him hints or whatever. But started playing the original Ratchet and Clank. Man, that game is hard. There's no level select, not level select, difficulty select on it. There's no strafe mode, which is a big part of the series from going commando to the current games, because you can focus on the enemy in front of you and walk this way, left and right. In the very first game, when you moved your joystick, your person moved and you had to move the camera. And there were several weapons that you had to, zoom in on, like in most first-person games, first-person shooter games. But you couldn't move your character, so you had to very carefully time your shots so that certain enemies wouldn't be able to shoot you. And it's very difficult. I pretty well stumped yesterday or last night when I was playing. It's surprisingly difficult. So, there's a new game coming out, which I mentioned, called Rift Apart. And here's Ratchet and Clank from Rift Apart, from the very new game. This is him with what is called the Enforcer. It's one of the weapons, and one of the unique things in the game is Ratchet. The more and more you fight and defeat the enemies, your character levels up, as well as your weapons. So you might have just a simple, measly, small blaster, but by the end of the game, the weapon will have leveled up to be some sort of super cannon or whatever. So it's pretty unique because it incentivizes you to continue to push through the struggles. Here is Ratchet and Clank grind rail on a grind rail. In this game, uh, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart will explore the story of Ratchet and Clank as they traverse across worlds and multiple realities to stop a villainous emperor from exploiting the catastrophic dimensional collapse caused by a malfunctioning device to instigate a plan of exterminating organic life in all universes. This game shares many gameplay similarities to Ratchet and Clank and other entries in the series. The main playable character is Ratchet. He is accompanied by his robotic friend and sidekick Clank, who is hung on his back. There will be a playable female Lombax, which is unique because in the PlayStation 3 versions, A Crack in Time, you find out that, spoilers, you find out that the Lombaxes were actually hunted down by a evil character, and the Lombaxes had to be sent into another universe, reality, so they could be safe. And Ratchet was left behind by accident. And so he feels he's alone throughout the whole games. So this is a unique concept that they're bringing in for this game. So you'll navigate Ratchet through the diverse environments across a multitude of levels, defeating enemies with a wide array of varied weapons and gadgets, and traversing obstacles to complete key mission objectives. This will be the first game in the series to introduce the concept of real-time, near-instantaneous travel between areas, planets, and other worlds within gameplay scenes via a system of interdimensional portals. In other words, you're going to be jumping from here and there at certain points in the game, which is different because it's never done that before. You will be seeing numerous characters and planets and locales from the other series, other different games. So that's going to be pretty unique. You're going to have racing events like always. I'm looking forward to it. The unique thing about this is it's going to be for the PlayStation 5, which I've noticed Insomniac Games, the creators of Ratchet Clank, have done that. They've been, keeping up with the creative side of tech. And so this will be the very first one for PlayStation 5. So it's going to be released about the time that the PlayStation is 5, within that window or whatever. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I will definitely give my review. This is a very good game series. So if you or you have kiddos or grandkids or whatever that are looking for a pleasant, fun, and all around good game, and rating wise is pretty decent. There's not much language, and if there is, they always kind of cover it up last second. The Ratchet and Clank games are very good. If you want, start with the Ratchet and Clank game from 2016, because that gives you a little bit of taste of everything else that previously came. And if from there, if you want to go back and play the others, you can find them. I'm not exactly sure if the original collection can be found on PlayStation 4. I've not looked. but it's worth trying to find and play. Very good series, so I highly recommend them. Excuse me. Anyways, so that's what I have for today. Um, Again, one of my favorite game series. Definitely should check it out. And then with the 2016 game, just the Ratchet and Clank 2016, there's a movie that ties in with it. And in that movie, you've got Paul Giamatti, you've got John Goodman, you've got several other different big name voices you'll recognize in the game, like Sylvester Stallone. And then they have the regular character voices from the previous games. So it's a good movie and good game series. Highly recommend it. All right. Take a chance and explore something new, old to you. Adventure is out there. Go find it.